This is Brother Ron, and welcome to We All Be News Radio and TV, the news-free Dixie for the 21st century.
Something else happening. Have you noticed they've been having an epidemic of black men killing each other in London?
Oh, no, I haven't heard about that. Meanwhile, are they killing each other with guns or knives or what?
Knives. There's lots of stabbings.
Okay.
When I last looked, there'd been 6 murders in 6 days.
Wow.
And this basically Caribbean stabbing each other. You know, the Africans and Caribbeans do good in America because black Americans shoulder the brunt of the abuse, and they're able to skim the cream off the top. But over in England, they have to shoulder their own racial stuff there, and they're beginning to crack up after years and years of racism and so forth. And you know, all of them over there are really big into white women. You'll find almost 100% of the black men over there either married to or dating white women. I mean, all we're saying is give black hooch a chance. That's what we need to have a big protest down there. All we are saying is sisters a chance, because sisters don't get no love over there. And they'll be with white men, and the black men will be with white men or white women. Not all, but it's disproportionate. I mean, it'll blow your mind, especially if they're Caribbean or African. It's about 90% of them marry white. So for all the women who beef and complain about the black man, 1 or 2 that they see in America, in reality, the African American woman is very spoiled. She's got the optics or the logic of a dodo bird when she looks at her black man. She only sees faults half the time. Compared to other black men in diaspora, the black American men prefer black women. I can tell you the Africans and everybody else prefer white women. And Brazil, I was talking to this beautiful Peruvian woman named Virginia, and she was just saying how in Peru, she was surprised. We had like a 2-hour conversation in my little broken-ass Spanish. Black men overlook them. Where I'm coming from, they don't even try to look at them. A lot of black women here beef all the time, but it's compared to what? It's what I normally ask black folks who haven't traveled, or don't pay attention, or so interested in downing one another until they don't think. If they go over to England and find out that basically the men won't marry them, if they go to Brazil and the men all want white women, right? No matter how fine women are. And we're not talking about all the sisters here being fine, you know, like the 2-seater ones who want to act like they're models. Yeah, you're a model for the Mayo Clinic before. You're not a model. It's not. I'm talking about some fine women in Latin America, black. I've been there to Brazil. Brothers not even speak to them because they're black. And you hear women here screaming. They got their hair dyed blonde. And all, I mean, got more tattoos. They look like a graffiti bridge instead of a person. And worried about someone not talking to them. You got kids by 9 men and say all the men want white women. No, they don't want you. They don't want white women. They want a black woman that does have a lot of baggage. But these sisters in other countries, completely out of the running. And the sisters here are hostile. You can't even speak to them half the time. You know what I'm talking about. Haven't seen that? I mean, you're not just hi. I don't speak. I don't know if it's a depo or the birth control pills that made them all evil, but in comparison to other places I've been, black American men on average, at least at a certain level, prefer sisters. They do. Other places I've been, the men prefer white women and others. And from 1 out of 3 sisters marrying white men, I tend to think sisters prefer white men. A large number of them do. And they're not honest about it. And so, I'm not saying all, but it's a significant number. I remember being in elementary school not elementary, junior high school, and the black girls would rave about how fine the white men were on the soap operas. I know you said that. Oh, he's cute. You don't hear black men doing that stuff typically about white women, do you? No. Okay. And so, yeah, I know I get on. I hope I made some of your audience mad. There's a certain type of black woman that hates criticism. Grow up, broad.
What do you think about that? The Washington Post article about black men are not defending black women. Like, I guess because of April Ryan was about the White House, Trump shut them down, and they thought it was disrespecting black women.
You know, I met April Ryan maybe. Let's stop looking at 97. Okay. 21 years ago, I stopped working for public television. I'm pretty certain I met April Ryan back then. If I'm correct, April Ryan wouldn't even speak to me at my place of work. And I've met others of these sisters, these power sisters. They're not nice people. When do they advocate for black men? Did April Ryan advocate for all the black men that were being killed when Obama was president? Hell no. These sisters want something for nothing. I feel this way. You just heard me advocate for Dorothy Gaines.
Right.
I've never met Dorothy Gaines, but when I heard a black grandmother was in jail, I did everything I could to help her get out, because it's a black woman, a grandmother. You know, my grandmother died my father's mother died when she was 40, which means I never met my grandmother. So I've always had to think about grandmothers. I heard a black grandmother was in jail. I dropped everything I did and started advocating to find a way to get her out of jail. One of the things I'll tell you, some of the most heartless people that I went to ask for help for Dorothy were black women that were professionals. Some of the most heartless, vicious, cold, selfish, I almost used the word, are professional black women that could do better, who've been put in position, and all they do is they are just as no good as the sellout black men. I'm going to give you a professional black woman experience today. We had an ice storm here in D.C. My mother is 77 years old, right? There was this thing that they had in Hampton, Virginia, and they have this women's summit. The roads, as a travel advisor, it's not safe. There's black ice. It's dangerous, right?
Right.
My mother has tunnel carpal syndrome at both wrists and issues with her knees, right? It's icy. It's unsafe. The roads are bad.
Oh, yeah.
My mother calls this broad up, because I told my mother, you know what? I wouldn't just drive up out of here, because our street is so narrow. It's easy to hit another car. That's thousands of dollars. It's insurance, right? Whatever. Call this lady and find if they have any alternative plans for this morning. You know what that broad told my mother? There are no changes, even with the night storm, right? So I get the snow enough, sweet stuff, and the snow and ice continues to come down. So, well, did she? You need to call her again. She got a voicemail. I told you need to call her again. When my mother got on the phone, the lady is basically she's acting like a female with a dick. Basically, she's being a bitch, like a lot of folks are. Instead of saying this woman's almost 80, there's ice everywhere. She tells my mother that there's no ice over where they are.
That's crazy.
And that the streets are clear. Okay? Were it a man, he'd be an asshole. He'd be a sexist. He'd be insensitive. With this feminism bullshit in our community, women aren't accountable. They can be heartless, cruel, nasty, evil, self-centered jackasses but they're females and women have suffered. So whatever they do evil and wrong, mostly the other women and children, by the way, it's okay because men are so bad. Do you get that?
Wow.
And so I started loud talking, saying, Mom, what the hell God does this broad serve? What part does she not get that it's icy over here? Do you want me to answer the phone and talk to her? The fake-ass people like you, that's why people don't like going to church, because of bogus-ass women like you, power sisters like you who need to get their behinds kicked. Then my mother began to cover up the phone. When the lady learned, I'm not bowing down, I don't give a damn about your feminism and all this stuff that you black women are running around like criminals doing, then all of a sudden I realized I don't buy into that. And I'm old queen, yes, fuck that. That's my mother.
That's right.
Maybe you don't care, which you don't, and you would be someone in church giving someone instructions. That's why people don't go to church. Half the reason they don't go are the nasty, vicious women in there. I'm not talking about the nice ones that you go to meet to get married. The mean ones, the vicious ones, the bulldagger, man-hating kind that, you know, that have all the answers to everything. They're so close to God and they've got 50 kids in jail. These kind of people.
Yes, sir.
Bad mothers who are no good mothers. The boys are gay and the girls are gay, or they're killers or they're selling drugs, and their mothers living for the Lord. We got too many of them, and nobody calls them out. And yes, men abandon women, beat women's behinds and all that, but where's your soul? What kind of person are you, broad? You Jack the Ripper with a vagina. That's the only difference. You're just as heartless and cruel as any man. We don't do that in America. Women are to be held accountable because women have been oppressed. So if I want to pour sulfuric acid on my baby, well, my man was mean to me. So damn the baby, right? I hate that. Don't you hate it too, her? I don't care. I don't like it.
Well, it's a problem. It's a disconnect.
All the ladies out here, I'm not saying all. It's definitely not my mother. My mother's a sweetheart. It's not my grandmother. It's not my aunt. But do I know some crazy, out-of-control women that belong in the female version of Rikers Island in the hole? They kept away from children like the little broads up the street that I would watch give PCP to their kids. And if you say anything you don't like, you know, they're like gays and Jews. You can't say anything or you hate them. When I do wrong, you hate me if you say anything. Bullshit. And someone should hate you. You're not lovable. Damn.
Wow.
Once I went off on that lady, and my mother knew I was, you know, she got someone to come and pick my mother up. But shouldn't that have been the first thing? Shouldn't that? The Bible talks about, they only do one half of it. They talk about men losing natural affection, but it also says women lose it. We can talk about men that are gay, but we don't talk about the bulldagger type women out here, nasty, man-hating broads, walk around in men's clothes, and that's cool. By the way, that's drag for women. When I was at the little thing for the Moonies, I saw this black woman dressed up. She looked like Idris Elba, but he was pretty. Yeah, it's real talk. It's real talk.
So she was the sexiest man alive.
Daddy's Little Girls. She had on the same jeans that he had on Daddy's Little Girls when he was working on the cars.
Wow.
Okay, now, and they don't put them out of church, and that's something else. If you're going to put the man that dressed like a woman, throw out the women that are dressed like men, even if they're just two people left. So, women, a lot of these women don't have natural affection. Abortion, they think abortion is preferred to childbirth. Leaving a man is better than staying with a man. Being cold, I mean, leaving your kid in a hot car while you're getting your nails done. You hear all these cases, these women baking kids in cars, and a lot of them are black. We're the backbone of the community. Well, fuck, if we've got scoliosis, we need a new backbone or a brace because you ain't doing it. So that's my mother. And this broad is going to try to tell her, just come on over. The streets are clear where I am. Okay? And this is why a lot of women don't like female supervisors and won't vote for women to be president, governor, and other things, because deep down inside, women that are honest don't like this Wild West lack of accountability that they see in a lot of other women. And they're disappointed that there are not enough men like you and I that say that that's garbage. I don't care if a woman likes what I said. Why am I supposed to please them all the time? They're not my woman. Damn. You shouldn't like me. I don't have your phone number, your email. We're not pen pals. I don't care if you hate me. And if I don't like you, that's fine. What's the thing that black men have to like? We have to always make them feel good and always take them flowers. I gotta give them credit. I mean, you know what? With all of that candy buying and pedicures and meals out, do you know which group of women lead the industrial world in getting divorces?
Who that?
Black American women. I mean, sisters need a reality check. They need a real damn reality check as compared to white women, Hispanic women, black women in particular. The better educated they are, the harder it is for them to be married. And I know really nice guys that are in the process of divorce where they wash dishes, they wash the kids. You see white men doing the dishes, washing the kids, taking the kids. I've never seen it. I see black men pushing baby strollers. It says more than I see a white man or Asian man or Chinese man. No. But because the women hate the brothers so much because of white supremacy, none of reality matters. So the man that cleans around the house. In fact, I'll tell you a quickie. I remember my father was doing marriage counseling. First time I ever sat in, well, maybe the second time I sat in my father doing marriage counseling. And this woman came in with her husband that she had told my father was just a terrible man. He was no good. And she just couldn't get anything. He was such an awful person, whatever. She wanted my father, like a lot of women use these little effeminate, pedophile, rapist, lying, chiseler preachers to be their backup. When they can't call the cops, they call the preacher out on their husband. Mm-hmm. To kind of sell out trader coon broads we have in our community. You can't go talk to your man head to head. Now, I'm talking about a bad man. Not for a man putting his hands on a woman, but what about the men that don't beat up women? Because all men aren't beating up women. A lot of women beat up on men. A lot of women kill men, and it happens. And, you know, if it's a self-defense, more power to it. But if she's a pepperhead, I don't believe that she can swing on him and him not swing back. That's okay. Sorry. I've never hit a female in my life, never planned to. But I can't promise you if someone came and started hitting on me, I'm not going to swing back and defend myself. In fact, I'm fairly certain I'm going to fight for my life. If you come for it, you're going to have to pay for it. Now, having said that, this woman just told my father, oh, he's this, he's that. So my father says, well, she has all these problems with you, sir. What problem do you have with your wife? He didn't have anything to say. And my father says, we have a communication problem. So he said to her, well, since your husband has no complaints about you, let me ask you some questions about your husband. He says, does he work? She says, yes. Does he earn enough money? She says, yes. Does he bring the money home? She says, yes. Does he pay the bills? She says, yes. He says, does he do work around the house? She said, yes. Does he go to church with you? Yes. Does he share any other duties with you, like shopping? She says, yes. What kind of father? Is he a mean father? Is he a caring father? Is he a caring father? Do the children like him? Yes. Does he spend time with the children? Yes. Does he spend time with you? She said, yes. He says, is he violent? Does he hit you or use inappropriate language to you? She said, no. He said, does he see other women? She said, no. Does he gamble? She says, no. Does he drink? No. Does he use drugs? No. Says, Is he messing with men? Not that I know of. I don't think so. No. My father says, you just told me that your husband is less than zero, but you described a fairly decent man. I mean, he's there. He doesn't cheat. He does work around the house. He likes the kids. He goes to church. He won't put his hands on you. He doesn't disrespect you. He pays bills. And you're telling me that this man is awful, but you haven't given me something that I can believe to take your word, and he won't say anything's wrong with you. So my father says, well, let me just get to this. He says, well, how often do you guys have sex? 3 times a week? Twice a week? Once a week? Then my father, once in a quarter. And the guy starts crying. He says, shut up, you punk. And my father says, well, I'm going to save your marriage. I can save it in 2 months. I just says, well, how are you going to do that? My father says, blowjobs. Blowjobs twice a week for 2 months. Your marriage will be back in no time. And the lady says, I can't believe that. My father says, believe it. She says, well, what kind of man of God are you? He says, I'm an honest one. Says, now, you asked me. I gave you a free consultation. I could have charged you $500. I gave it for free. I'm telling you, your husband needs blowjob twice a week. You'll have the happiest family ever. She dragged her husband out. We never saw them again. Mm-hmm. What was the problem there? Instead of the black man always being the monster that never does anything right, he doesn't work, he's not educated, he's holding her down. In reality, the women who are so powerful, they withhold sex or they brutalize the man emotionally. And I know a lot of men that are married with women who don't have sex with their husbands as a means for control and often cheat on them. Mm-hmm. And the black man, if he goes to court, he's going to lose, right? Mm-hmm. So the black woman has so much power until she's what I call a social hermaphrodite. She's basically a hermaphrodite without the penis. Mm. And that means that you've got 2 heads instead of on one body, 2 heads is a freak. You can't have a union between man and woman with the woman trying to be head and the man being head. Mm. And it's very interesting. You put that same woman who can't work with the man being head, put her with the stud who will kick her behind and she won't call the cops. And she will be feminine and submissive.
Wow.
What is that all about? Why is that? And I asked one of my students when I was down at Lane, I said, what's the difference between the girl you're seeing now and the boy you broke up 6 months ago? And I said, you're taking too long. I said, she beats your ass twice as often with a fist twice as small. And she doesn't pay for pussy. He did. Looks like you've taken a financial loss. She dropped my class. Mm. And I didn't say she couldn't do that. I was only saying that he even subsidized you screwing her. All he wanted you to do is give him some of what you gave her. Now you cut him out, and now you don't have his money, and she beat you behind. He never did. And the cops says, if they come, girl, it's crisscross. They'll throw both of your asses in jail. See, if you hit him and you call the police, they'll throw him in jail because he's a black man. It's America. A woman punches you out. Y'all, if you fight back, you both go to jail. You see, the black women are going to have to repent of accepting that white privilege, that white supremacist privilege of being a jackass towards the black man, especially if he's a good one. Mm-hmm. See, the white woman doesn't have the same thing. Look at how white women vote for Trump because he's a white man. Mm-hmm. And see how black men and black women are divergent. The sisters won't line up behind black men. I'm not saying all, but there's a kind of black woman who is an enemy of her own people. You know, I want to remind people that when the French regained control of France, they punished all the French women that were like the black women in America that were with the Germans. The French women that ran after German men, okay, were punished. The black women that run after the white man or secretly had this white male fantasy, okay, like the Williams sisters, right? They're traitors in terms of their allegiance. They just are. And for that matter, Kamala Harris, too. And I'm not saying all interracial marriages are bad. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying many people, if you marry someone because you do not wish to be black, that's an act of whether it's a man or a woman. But are you getting me? We don't have these conversations with black women because most black men are afraid. I've long since said, you know what? As long as the person's from the diaspora and they're black, I can hook up with them. So I don't have to put up with this American foolishness that exists in our culture because it's really insane. Are all women like that? No. The really sweet sisters that are good thing type, you know what I'm talking about? Those sisters get snapped up early. And so a lot of the more difficult ones, they talk about, nobody liked me. They had Essence Magazine, which is basically now white control. And they had Villa Grosso. They had a little lesbian that was running it. And I knew it was going to go underground once they put a lesbian in charge of it. Do you remember they put a lesbian in charge in the 90s? And they started writing all these articles. There was an article called Thug Passion.
Okay.
Where the woman talks about how much they love thugs more than the guys that black men that worked and were functioned the way black men aren't supposed to be, or should say black men never achieve, so they say. She preferred the thug over the guy who worked, who was normal. They actually want, how can a black man, he has to literally be a criminal to appeal to her, which means he's got to risk being in mass incarceration before she can feel comfortable that he's strong. Are you getting me?
I heard about those type of articles. Yeah.
No, there's a whole bunch of them. In fact, when I was in Chicago for a human rights conference, this woman complained about all the men being in jail. I told her that she was a jackass. I mean, you're going to tell me, a black man who's single, that you want the black men in jail? You don't even know them, and yet you won't talk to the ones you see in the street? I told her she was a jackass, a fool. I said, you were really serious about the black men in jail. You would do what the women in Palestine do. They go down to advocate that their man be let out of jail. How many sisters do you see fighting against mass incarceration? They just sit around bitching. Oh, there's no man. Well, damn it, get them out. I mean, that's your role. We're at war. Sisters want peacetime romance and peacetime norms when we're at war. That's how warped a lot of them are. Like, well, I want me. Narcissistic. You're unhappy because you're so focused on yourself. Me, I'm a queen. You know, I mean, I'm serious. I've seen this woman with the man's shirt on. They look like they've been lifting weights. They almost look like a dude saying they're a queen. You know, if you want to be a king, why do you call yourself a queen? It's that confusing. How can we? And I'm sorry, I really can't stand. I see all these brothers that always. We need to have real, honest conversation with our sisters about these things. And if they don't like it, too bad. All this begging, you know, and that's not. I don't like it. Black man has no character. He's been told his character's in his penis. As long as it's getting polished, nothing else matters. I'm not against it getting polished, but there are other things you can do. In fact, unless it can bring in food and pay the light bill and keep shelter from the rain and so forth, then you should keep your genitalia in perspective, brothers. And so, back to my point, they never want to say anything that's true or honest to black women because in reality, if you have character and you don't always make the sisters feel good, then they don't want to give you any sexual favors. So the brothers learn early in life to be liars so they can get laid. Dishonesty is the key to the woman's heart, to a lot of sisters' hearts, sadly. We have a very debauched culture. It's repugnant. Our people we need God. We need reformation. We need to repent. We need to see each other as people instead of basically genitalic pincushion, something you stick something in instead of someone that you form a family with. And so the brothers are so sorry. Well, did you get some hood? Heard you better get some. You better not talk about none of that stuff to her, man. I'm let me share with you. You know how weak black men are. Black men are having a serious conversation.
Right.
Black woman walks up and they all get quiet.
Mm-hmm.
They're afraid they're not going to get some pussy. Let's really talk about what it really is. When I go to another country, when the men walk up and the women are talking, the women get quiet. Black American men function like women in a third world country.
Oh, wow.
They do. We're just the opposite. When black women are talking, you walk up, excuse me, we were talking. They're not going to stop talking when a black man walks up. And I don't think they should have to.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that men need to stop when they walk up? And that is because black women, a lot of them have incorporated the mindset of being male in relationship to men. So it's almost a lot of sisters like being with the faggot. In fact, I was in the store over in Columbia Heights with a friend of mine, and I said to her, I want you to study this place. Look at the couples. Look at how if a black man's with the black woman, he's either behind her or pushing the basket or holding the baby. Look at the men of all the other races, and look at even look at the gay couples, and notice that the women are subordinate or on a cooperative basis with their men in every other situation except for the black man and the black woman here.
Mm-hmm.
And if a dumbass black woman doesn't see this disparity, this ulceration, and I'm not talking about women having veils, being Muslim, walking 10 steps behind. That doesn't turn me on. What turns me on is cooperation and real equality and people knowing their roles and being specialized in it. I'm not talking about a woman, with a mousy voice. I don't like that. I don't like dumb, weak women.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't like women that are trying to be dudes with the vagina. It's equally out of control. There should be a balance. Strong enough to be on your own and yet strong enough to be in a relationship. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
And the sister, I just noticed, even the gay couples, there's a hierarchy. Only with the black man and woman do you see this struggle for power, or the woman tyrannizing the man and the man say, well, at least this is my child's mother. I got a woman. We married. I'm going to just make this work. And this is one of the reasons black men die earlier. That's right, sisters. That stuff, that toxic stuff you put in them, they die early because they got to get away from you. And nobody talk about that. And I see brothers in relationships, the women doing all this stuff. And by the way, the men are taught that they're supposed, white men aren't taught this. Black men are taught they have to take all this. And this is why so many black men who have been brainwashed into thinking this is the way it's supposed to be never marry. They just decide to be hoes for all their lives. That's satisfactory either. And I hope you don't think I think that men should be hoes and mistreat women. I hope that's not what I'm communicating.
No, I'm listening. I think
Okay, because you know what? Any criticism of sisters, they can't handle it. In fact, you know what they remind me of? White women and Jews. And white people, when you say anything, any criticism, they just lose it. You completely hate me. If you don't completely praise me and worship me and kiss my ass every time, then you hate me. And sorry, folks. What the black men are doing quietly is they're not marrying, or they're marrying other people slowly. And that's not a good thing. I'm not happy about that. I wish that more people were coming together, but they've got to have their act together. And part of that is stuff like, I knew this sister, she liked tattoos, and the tattoos were awful. Her boyfriend hated them. He wished she wouldn't get them, but she liked them. And she got the tattoos. She knew he didn't like them. She got more and more. Make him like it. Do you realize if he got tattoos all over her face, she'd get mad? Yes, just get a tattoo, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you had a girlfriend and you got fat, she'd tell you, you're getting fat.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But if you tell her she's getting fat, ooh, I've been body shamed. Have you ever watched the shows on TV? And a lot of times they have a black woman on there that's overweight, but all the other women are proportionate in size.
Yeah.
And black women don't see, hey, that's not being big bone. Nigga, you're fat. You need to lose the weight. They won't have a fat white woman on television. They won't have a fat Asian on television. They won't have a fat Latina. To mock black women and black men is, they look to black women. There's one morning show, and that black woman's as big as 3 of her Asian and white co-hosts.
And I think I know what you're talking about, but go ahead, I'm listening.
Don't you notice that black women don't have conscience about when they're in their feelings that, you know, you're a mammy figure when you're fat and bloated like that on television.
Mm.
They don't put any other fat woman up there. Why they put you up there?
Mm.
You understand that? They don't notice that. You know the black woman I'm talking about. She comes on the morning show. I'm not saying she doesn't have a pretty face, but she's fat. Why don't they have a fat white woman, a fat Asian, and a fat Latino?
Remember why? Can they find any? I'm just joking.
Of course they can find them. The point is that they are promoting the same way when they put the drag queens out. Who are the drag queens of the transgender? They're putting out black men.
Right.
They don't have white male trans. No, they don't. Because they respect white manhood. Even if they're gay and the television place. I've worked in it. They still respect it when they're gay. They put the black man out, like the one that was at the WoMEn Smarts, the guy from Hawaii.
But even like you look at news, news shows, like you don't really see any like you see some effeminate black men in these news anchor roles, or they might be gay like Don Lemon, but you don't really see any like strong, like masculine black male figures in news.
No, and you get fat. Even April Ryan needs to lose some weight. You see, the obese black woman goes back to the mammy figure.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of black women need to be honest. And that whole thing, I remember this girl who sang to me, oh, I'm big bone. That's just dinosaurs have big bones. Bitch, you're fat. I mean, be honest about it. When a man is fat, he either has to pay to get ladies or he loses the weight.
Right. That's true.
And he doesn't go around and cry on television and get help. You see, white men don't like fat women. And these fat white women will starve themselves. Black women don't have bulimia. Black men don't drive to the point of suicide over their size. But does that count in black men's favor, that they work with larger size women? No. When they assess a good man or the strengths and weaknesses in black men, that he'll put up with you when you're 300 pounds, 400 pounds. Doesn't complain about it. Says it's okay. These white women are starving themselves to death. Anorexia is not a black girl's problem. Nobody puts stress on them. They shouldn't. But at the same time, you should be honest that a lot of the problems that we have in our culture are diet born and weight born.
Mm-hmm.
You're too big. And shoot, I need to lose about 30, but I don't need to lose 50 or 60 or 100. Maybe 20, but no more than that. Are you feeling me?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. I'm just thinking about it. I mean, even Oprah.
Yeah,
that's a mammy figure.
But you know what? The white people, they stopped liking her as much when she became pretty. They were complaining. See, they complained when Oprah lost the weight initially, remember?
Yeah.
So it's closer. Is it because she can get a white man or she's pretty? She's a sexual challenge. So you put the fat black woman up there to make the white women feel better about themselves. And the dumbass black woman doesn't see that when you're bloated and fat and out of shape, that you make other people see them as inferior. They see the black woman as inferior.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the black woman's inferior. And weight is a problem. It's a challenge. And everybody's not big for the same reason. You know, some folk got knee issues and so forth. And my mom, she had, chemo and things mess with weight. But prior to that, keep your weight down. I mean, they in their 70s, they have the right to be whatever size they want to be, although there are complications to that. But the younger women in particular, when they're looking for a man, I want to meet someone. And we'll meet me at the McDonald's, and have to turn sideways to get in the door. You know, it was a video. There's a woman. Have you heard of her? She's called the Casino Queen. She used to play with Denise LaSalle.
Okay.
And she had a song, I Use My Cell Phone.
Mm-hmm.
You remember that song, Use My Cell Phone?
I'm going to look it up after I get off the phone with you, but go ahead. I'm listening.
And you should see in the video when she comes in the room, her breast is so big until it has to slide around the door seal. And so it gets snagged on the breast, and it takes she's in the room, it takes the breast about 10 seconds to come in behind her. Well, that's something I just howled. I mean, but we have to be honest with each other. And also, when folks talk about hoes and dogs, one of the things that black men need to start doing is DNA test all the kids.
Yeah.
From here on out, DNA test all the children. Since we're such hoes, trust and verify. Come on in the couch, selfish.
Mm-hmm.
My cat was outside, okay. He just wanted to be out there. And he's good and cold now. You're truly a cool cat. Because it's freezing out there. Anyway, just it's very important for us to take better care of ourselves, respect ourselves, but also be honest with ourselves. And the only way that black people are going to come together, particularly black men and black women, is honesty, even if it's painful. And I remember when I was looking at the little Match.com and the other things, I remember this one woman who was looking for a man. She took a picture, and you know how trees have two parts of the trunk that go in different directions?
Mm-hmm.
Like she put her head between the two parts of the tree going up as to hide her body.
I'm sorry. I hate when people do that stuff.
She did. Mm-hmm. People trying to, I don't want you to know how big I am. And then I know I'm big, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want you to know I'm big. Once you meet me, you can't not accept the size that I am because you're not accepting me for who I am, right?
Mm.
And yet, at the same time, she's hiding who she is, right?
Right.
And can you imagine? I'm serious. She was behind the trunk of the tree. And people only taking pictures of their face, so you can't see.
I don't like that. Somebody tried to do it to me the other day. It was a girl trying to hook me up with her cousin. I said, show me a body picture. So you showed me her face.
Yeah, no. I
don't like that.
No. It's as bad as sending someone a picture of your vagina and not of your face.
Oh, that's true. I mean, I have no problem with that either, Dr.
It's equally bad. No, just do that. Okay, let me
send me a cat fax. Like you said about a car fax. Give me a cat fax on the history on that on that vagina. You can't trust nobody when it comes to stuff like that. You know, the sex and who they really are. People are always catfishing everybody. It's too easy to catfish people.
So no, but I mean that woman hiding behind the tree.
I mean, how big was the tree? Was it a redwood or something? A sequoia?
It was a tree, man. It wasn't a small. It wasn't like a pine tree.
Okay. Damn, how big is it?
It was a big tree. I mean, it's just like, you know. And my thing is, if you know that your body is big, you know that you're fat, then you need to go and either diet. You know, you should stop going to Golden Corral.
Yeah.
In fact, have you been to Golden Corral? The person's so big, you had to wait.
I remember, you know, I went to Apollo Dean's, which is down at the casino in Tunica. You could see people on oxygen tanks and could barely move. They had their plates all full, man. It was crazy. It's like you just eating yourself to death.
Mm-hmm. And I like Golden Corral, but you know what? My deal is to only eat 3 plates, so get what you really want.
Mm-hmm.
Always that you get some vegetables and some fruit, so you can gorge. But like, you only need to really eat once or twice a day.
Mm.
So, I mean, I'm not a big exercise freak. I'm certain I need to be in better shape, but I might eat once or twice a day. But I don't eat 3-4 meals.
I mean, whatever works. I mean, you know yourself, and you know moderation is the key. Anyway,
it's certain that I don't weigh 900 pounds, you know, and then say, well, I'm still beautiful. Because I've asked his sisters, do you go out with a big girl trying to talk to you? Do you go out with big guys? I don't like big dudes.
Mm-hmm.
They would never go out with a dude that's their size.
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
man, good reason. Yeah.
Oh, they do, because the fat is ugly to them. Fat is repugnant. So why, if you hate fat, why do I have to like it?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
And see, they don't like to be real about it. But yeah, fat. So I don't know. This, you know, I mean, I just said everything bad today. I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble.
No, well, you saying stuff is on people's minds, and people talk about this like at the barbershops or whatever. Like you said, they talk about it in safe places and spaces, but it needs to be talked about. I mean, because this thing about gender wars and race wars, but if you see your eyes to your enemies, you don't really getting the truth about who you really are and what we need to be talking about, you know.
Yeah, well, we really do, because it's just time for us to stand up to the feminists. You know, it's really time for us to stand up to the feminists.
Even Pamela Anderson standing up to the feminists. She called them out on the Me Too movement recently. And you got to use common sense. You just don't go to a hotel room with a stranger if it's a business deal, and they come out in a bathrobe. You know what I'm saying?
But that's part of the business.
Right.
That's part of the negotiation.
Yeah. I mean, you better get the job then. What you say, you better get the job if that's a part of the negotiation.
But here's the thing. Let's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I know ladies who would never give their phone number to a guy who's really courted them and they know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You've seen that way. She doesn't want him, which is, you're right. I'm with her. Why is it so easy for some of these no good people to get these folks contact? And see, what I want to say to you, because this is a Christian theology. In Romans 3, it says all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, right?
Mm-hmm.
What we do in the black church is we say men have sinned. Black men have sinned and come short. And that's a heresy. Women have sinned too. Women have wicked and perverse desires. And it's the same way I asked this sister to tell me, I want proof. When I was writing for the Howard student paper, that I wanted proof that lesbians were better at making love to women than straight men.
Hmm.
And they were angry with me. I said, let's have an proof. Let's do a blind cunnilingus exam. And whoever gets the most ratings from the women will be proof with who does it better. Nobody except took me up on that, because that's my challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Because they might lose. Okay, that some brother can like turn it out. And I don't know if you saw the movie Revenge of the Nerds.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when the guy had the mask on?
Mm-hmm.
The woman thought he was a great lover, and then she found out it wasn't. The guy, the one who looked like a young Donald Trump, Steve. His name was Steve in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she liked him only after he deceived her to get to her. If she had known who was approaching her, she would have said no without a chance. Remember the first time he saw her? He said, "Hi, Betty," and she's like, "Oh, I can't believe this nerd spoke to me," right? He finally got to her. Then she says, "Oh, you're not so bad."
Right.
But I would have never given you a chance because women they talk about men's biases. They have some of the same biases themselves in terms of how they pick people. I don't know why this conversation about women treats them as if they're gods and men are mortals. We're all mortals. We all have shortcomings and flaws. And whenever you watch TV, they constantly play this garbage. For example, when they have the election, remember they did it for Doug Jones? And so, man, the black women really won it for Doug Jones. The black women, you know, the black men that stayed home, Doug Jones would have lost.
He still got 90% with us, like 93%.
Yeah. He got 95% of the black male vote. Had he gotten less, he would have lost.
But that's the narrative they ran, like black dudes.
But the narrative was only black women. And every time the black women voted, the black women. And you know what? You know who I blame? I blame black women like April Ryan. How come April Ryan never brings this up? That black men voted too.
Because you're part of the establishment. She's not about truth.
I mean, then when Trump F's with her, good.
Right.
Because she doesn't care about me.
Right.
You don't care about us. And what she's beefing about because it's happening to her, that's not good enough for me. That's not good enough for us. Okay, I don't know Dorothy Gaines, but like I said, I don't like black grandmothers being in jail. What is that going to do to her family? And generations of her family have been hurt by her being incarcerated, even though that ended 18 years ago. If you're going to do something, it's got to be, I'm not making myself an example, but that's an example of how I am and how I know other people are. We do it because it's right and because it will help our people. So April Ryan, and I've met other such types, they're aloof and they're so this and they're so that. And she defended Obama over Flint. Yes, she did. They didn't come after Obama when he ignored Flint. They defended Obama. That means those 9,000 children are poisoned, and they continue to be poisoned. How come everyone's not talking about that? These people don't care. In fact, maybe it took them getting death threats for them to be real. Where are these people? I mean, for the two people that got shot in Kentucky, did April Ryan and them do any expose on that? Did they talk about the other man that the white mother snitched on who had planned to kill the black kids in the school in the same city in Kentucky? How come they don't do anything extra for us? Brother, you travel the country to peace. You do extra. Like when they killed my godson, you came up to Jackson. You did extra. Have to do it. You didn't, but you did. And I see people who do extra who don't have as much as April Ryan.
Yeah, and she's supposed to be a black media person, right? She's supposed to represent black media.
Yeah, they represent
press conference proposal. Our black interest then should be black interest. She represents black media.
She should stop spending so much time attacking Trump and get something.
But like you said, she gave Obama a pass, so I don't expect that from these folks. What about Roland Martin? What's your take on him?
I call him Roll Over Martin.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's do him for a second. Now, Roll Over Martin. Let me first of all say this to you. Roll Over Martin tries to come off as if he is so militant and so down for black people. It's not true. He was trained by conservatives in Project 21. The conservatives had this idea how they're going to take over black leadership by creating new black leaders. He's one of their Project 21 people. He went to, Louisiana Theological Seminary, LTS, I think is his name. It's down in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's one of the most reactionary, small, religious Baptist colleges in the country. Okay, that's where he went. He talks about having character. He didn't. Didn't he help try to steal? In fact, he did steal questions from Bernie and give them to Donna Brazile. He has no ethics. He lives out in Loudoun County, I think near Leesburg, far from the hood, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't get it. He's trying. He's competing with people. Did you see the black professor had a nice video up on YouTube where he's talking about Roland Martin, to which I wholeheartedly agree.
I'm going to have to check it out. I saw it in my recommended list. I'm going to check it out.
See it, because he's talking about Roland Martin in a very intelligent way. In fact, Black Agenda Report calls him that hole over there.
Because, a couple of times.
Yeah, that's what they call him, that hole over there. They call him a thought.
Mm-hmm.
He is. He's a thought. There's nothing he really stands on. What has he really stood on?
Besides tap dance for Hillary, I don't know.
He doesn't stand for anything. When he gave some mouth to Hillary when he wants to go back to CNN and be back with the white people. And in reality, that time is gone for him.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. His little jack-o'-lantern looking self, he looks like a pumpkin with the suit on.
Yeah, good.
Don't look like a jack-o'-lantern.
He got an interesting, he got a lot of confidence, I'll say that, that's with the ascots and all that stuff.
But the point is that the ascot, that makes him look more like, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. I mean, look at him, please. These people have the real capacity to do some good. In reality, you got all these people, but I don't think people are listening to him. You see, black folks are looking, those that are sincere, are looking for some real leadership. They want some real heroes.
Mm.
Pick something that's not safe to talk about, Roland, or roll over. And he doesn't do that. He picks safe things that, and he can be a race man. But to me, I will say to you, and I don't got nowhere near the reach of a Roland Martin. I don't. But anytime the government put me on a no-fly list, and he's not on the list, right? Mm-hmm. When people like Jeannie and I get searched, people like Darren Muhammad, maybe they bother you when you go places. How come you don't bother them? And, I have a little thing. I'm going to take a photo picture. There's another one, Shaun King.
Mm-hmm.
Or I call him Talcum X.
Talcum X. That's great. Uh-huh.
I made a comment about Talcum X.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say anything bad about Shaun King, they will block you on Facebook.
I know he blocked me on Twitter. I ain't said nothing bad about it. He just blocked me on Twitter a couple years ago, but go ahead.
No, I'm saying you don't have to say anything bad. He doesn't deal with people that are real. He is some kind of agent. And by the way, he comes from the United Church of Christ, too.
Mm.
Have you seen the article that's on him on Google that says, "Consider me gay"? He's completely, oh, yes. That's what he wrote down. And so, I will.
Okay.
In fact, there was a meme I made. I know I got in trouble. There was a meme of him with Kaepernick, and the shirt said, "I know my rights," and I changed it to "I know my gay rights." And I had both of the shirts together, put that up there. I said to mess with him. Shaun King and Rachel Dolezal are basically the Ike and Tina Turner of like phony black activists. Oh, okay. Shaun King, I don't even care black or white. There's something about, why is it that I can't ask a question about Shaun King? In fact, I should pull up my computer. It's right here. And I'm going to send you a screen copy. I asked a question about Boule Coons. How come Shaun King and them don't go after Boule Coons and they do all this reporting? And Facebook put me off for 30 days.
Right, man, Facebook crazy, man. They just crazy with this.
But what it says is, why do they need to defend Shaun King? I didn't threaten Shaun King. I didn't say any violence against Shaun King. Mm-hmm. Why is it that DeRay McKesson, the little dude who screws the man that owns Twitter, the one that looks like the little monkey off of that updated version of the Planet of the Apes, that the monkey had the nicer jacket. Okay. Okay, I'm just being real with you. Why is it that they need to protect these people? Nobody's threatening violence against them. Why is it on social media someone like you or I need to be blocked? Mm-hmm. Who are we relative to them that got fought? It's because they're fake. There's something fake about them. They've been made by other people. Mm-hmm. They're made by other people. They're controlled by other people. And they are assets that belong to people that are used against us. And when you say something or step to them, I'll give you an example for Black Lives Matter. I was in St. Louis shooting that film, the Dred Scott Nation. Mm-hmm. When those people met with Obama in December 2014, tried to meet with the people from St. Louis, they wouldn't even talk to us. I was told there was a list of people that they couldn't speak to, and I'm on that list. Mm. So there was a young guy from Ferguson. I would write him, I would tweet him, and he would not. I was not allowed to even talk to him. Mm. Okay, do you understand what that means? So that means, how are you somehow a leader for black folks and we can't communicate with you? I can't have a conversation. I can't speak to you.
Wow.
Why not? What did I do to justify being silenced? So they got paid money and they were told. In fact, they had another meeting when I went back to St. Louis in 2017. But they had it in Chicago, and they had a meeting talking about fighting against the people who block Black Lives Matter. I happen to be on that list. Mm. Had the names of all the social media black males who, you may be on the list, and they said that we hated black people and we hated women and all these people we hated, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they said, right? Mm. That we needed to be stopped. So, a bunch of us are no longer on Radio 1. We can't go certain places. People don't speak to us anymore.
Wow.
Okay, so we became bad. That isn't something that a little teeny tiny person could do. This requires someone higher up orchestrating who's not going to be allowed to communicate or go places. Mm-hmm. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so what I want you to understand from that is that if you don't get 1 million or 500,000 hits or whatever, it's because they're going to work to make certain that you don't get it. Mm-hmm. Other people are being built up not because of their talent or ability. And I saw this in divinity school. I saw this at Howard. I just saw someone I went to school with, and I can't say that they're not brighter than me, but they've gotten a professorship and they got stuff right. Because they were safe, plus they were female, right? Mm-hmm. The men that were stronger or outspoken, they don't have. I'm not expecting it to be, but I just want you to understand, when you see a black man challenging things and they don't come after him, mm-hmm. something's wrong there. There are different ways to come after for you. I mean, shadow ban you. Don't let you hit, the number, so you get 2,000 or 3,000. Maybe you have 20,000 hits, but you don't know it. They would never let you know or give you a sense of who you are. It's all of this is to manage you. They don't do that, so they fly that guy around, DeRay, and have him lie about how he's the person that did all the stuff in Ferguson, because this is controlled opposition. In reality, the Black community is out of control. They no longer control the Black community like they want to. And they've brought up these people. Roland Martin, look at how quickly he climbed. I mean, he's nowhere, then all of a sudden he's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That does not happen for Black people. How long have you been doing this? 6, 7, 8, 20?
About 10 years, 10 plus years.
Now, Roland Martin wasn't out there 10, 12 years before he got all these fast things. Why so slow for you?
Mm-hmm.
You aren't talented. It's not you aren't saying anything, right?
All right.
It's because of they don't own you and control you, therefore they won't help you move.
That's some deep stuff, man.
As a result, my friend, the price that one pays to be independent and have their own voice is very, 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 very important. And so what I want to tell you is that these other people are traitors. And we need to develop the term of treason, because we have a real issue as a people. I'm certain I can find some loudmouth, overweight sister to say, who are you calling a traitor? You can't judge.
Mm-hmm.
The same female in particular, there's always a loudmouth hypocrites. That woman will judge you broke if you gave her $1 if she asked you for some money. So, they're very able to judge when it's something they want. But whenever you start talking about moral, ethical stuff on something beyond a personal level, this is when they have objections to that. Do you get where I'm coming?
Yes, sir.
So it's very important that we understand that these people that they put before us are simply people that read the news. Oh, look at this. I'm looking at this. He could be connected to 90 murders.
Cool.
Samuel Little. Oh, okay, we know this is a Black dude. Connected to 90 murders. What's this all about?
You're a serial killer.
Oh my God. He's linked to 90 murders? Wow. That's fascinating. I guess this dude's going to try to be... trying to catch up with white folks.
Well, about that time, man. We've been around them long enough. We integrated to a burning house.
Yeah. Or actually we've integrated into it or whatever. Anyway, what I would do is bounce here. We must do this again.
That's all.
And I certainly hope this is making sense, because, it's early in the morning. We're just kicking it.
Oh, yeah, it would make a lot of sense to me. I'm more alert than I was last time.
Okay.
But, yeah. So I'm just looking up this saying widows. I got to have...
People must have thought we were high, but I saw a few thousand people checked it out.
I mean, people like what you say. Your commentary is neat. They're trying to get you... They've been trying to get Tariq Nasheed to interview you. We're saying on my Instagram, Tariq needs to interview Dr. Short. I think he does need to interview you, definitely. Because I know I saw the interview he did with Dr. Clark Anderson the other day. It was pretty good.
Tariq Nasheed? No,
Nasheed, yeah. So this the 1804 Haitian Revolution, the Hidden Colors guy.
Yeah. I would love to talk to him if he wants to talk to me. I'm open. I think we have a lot of fun. The whole thing is to have fun with this, man, is to have a lot of fun. It's, in particular, when we're fighting against coons, the one thing we have to be able to use is humor. And I enjoy, oh my God, I love punishing my enemies.
So I saw this Samuel Little thing. This is, I don't know, man. He is an old Black man. I don't know. He might have Alzheimer's or something. I don't know if he's...
And you know what? There's a brother that you must meet. He's like a Dick Gregory's age, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's up in New York named Sambaya. Have you ever heard of him?
No, not to my knowledge, no, sir.
This was out with Malcolm, man, back in the days, out in the streets, back in the 50s.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's back.
And so he's still alive, man. Somebody needs to talk to him. I called him, and I guess we missed each other. I have to reach out to him.
I'm definitely open because he was out there when Malcolm was on those street corners there on 125th Street.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was out there when it was grassroots days. Grassroots, huh?
He was out there, still around, and he still wants to talk.
So he haven't talked in all this time? He haven't found any venues or outlets?
Who?
The guy you said that wants to talk.
He needs it. That's why I'm talking to you. I'm treating you like white.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, he was around Gil Noble trying to talk to him about Like It Is and stuff like that.
I don't know if he got to Gil Noble, but I was supposed to meet Gil Noble. I met Gil Noble once, and I was supposed to meet him, and something happened, and I was up in New York, so I wasn't able to see him. Next thing, he died.
Gotta be, man. Gil Noble did a lot of work. I mean, him and like Lesterville Middleton, I'm getting enough credit.
Yeah, he died like a week or so after our meeting. He canceled our meeting. I was up in New York to see him. But I did meet him once in South Africa, and it was wonderful. And some of these people, now what you need to know, I used to talk to Gil Noble and give him information on all the people that were stealing his work, selling it on video. That's what a lot of people are doing towards the last years. Like Xenon Film and other people were putting out stuff, and he wasn't getting paid for it.
Really? Wow.
And that's the first person to bring that to his attention, that people were selling his stuff and not paying him.
That's damn shame.
And that's how Gil Noble and I became friends. Because nobody else bothered to do that. And can you believe that? So anyway, we should do this again. I got to get you Sambaya's number. I got to do a fundraiser, but Dorothy Gaines definitely, she deserves a decent Christmas. And
you can tell her like the Kardashian, the Kim lady, she got the golden touches thing.
Here's the problem. I know someone that was dealing with Kanye, and I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, he stopped doing politics. So I don't know how to reach anybody because I was never in. I'm not turned on by that scene anyway, but such is life.
Such is life. Dr. Shaun, I want to thank you once again for spending so much time sharing your information and wisdom with our people. And the words are great to go to. We love you madly. Keep on producing and pushing. And we'll talk again very soon. Right.
So we'll talk again.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
All right.